Oh, righty then. Let's see if we can't find the stream. Hopefully it isn't too far away. It's loading up onto the channel as I speak. Yeah. Audio is working as it should. Streams up, chats up, we're all good to go. Absolutely fantastic. We won't be waiting too long, folks. Attendance isn't incredibly high. I think 16 is all we're meant to have for this Grand Prix. Not too bad. Could be better, but it's not bad. So hopefully we get to see a entertaining race here in Miami. Keep an eye on the Discord, see what's going on in there. Blah, blah, blah. They're just chatting away in the Discord right now. We'll get a ready up signal shortly. Get this whole shebang underway. Yeah, now with one driver missing, notably G-Force Ford, it's now turned the championship fight into a two-horse race, which is a bit unfortunate. The championship is heavily favoured in Big Al's favour, but certainly not impossible for Destiel to close the gap and keep the championship alive heading into the final round at Imola. This will prove to be a very important race in the context of the championship. Someone's dropped out. I think that was Reese dropping out. Scroll down. Yep. Reese dropped out. Hopefully he can rejoin at some point. He was in the lobby briefly, then dipped. A couple minutes late already. Well, I'm not surprised. We very, very rarely run on time. Oh. Hopefully this race will prove to be as exciting as Pacific Elite Series back on Sunday. That actually proved to be a pretty interesting race with only 13 drivers. Got 15 here with one, I think, on the way somewhere. Hopefully they'll be able to join us as soon as possible. Chatting away. Talking about setups here at Miami. Smithy running 6 and 4 in TT, Ronha running 3 and 1. Altmere on 16-14. Oh, come on. There's a ready up signal. Surely this is everybody. Attendance didn't look great earlier in the day. We only had 13 on the board, and that did include reserves. We got reserves in here now. For example, the equal sign here, that's Potsy and the Williams. We got Kong over in the McLaren. Let me have a look at this. Oh, that's it. Oh, okay. Those are the only two reserves. So 14 full-timers, 2 reserves, 16 car grid, and 1 spectator, which is me. Doing my talky-walky thing. Captain Liddell has given the ready up call, so we shouldn't be too far away from the beginning of qualifying. There we are. As per normal, when the timer hits 0 and the screen cuts to black, I'll start the intro. We can get this whole shebang underway. Hello everyone, and welcome to round 14 of the Pacific Tier 1 Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're at Miami International Autodrome for the Miami Grand Prix. One of the newest additions to the Formula One world, Miami International Autodrome was constructed in 2021 and became the 11th circuit in the United States to hold a Formula One Grand Prix. The circuit measures up at 5.41 kilometers. It consists of 19 corners and 3 DRS zones that lead into the prime overtaking spots of Turn 1, Turn 11 and Turn 17, and that's not a great sign as Leo has left the session already. It's a narrow circuit, a street circuit, with concrete walls lingering not too far away from the racing surface, so a single mistake will prove quite costly. The main technical areas the drivers will have to worry about are the tricky traction zone between turns 2 and 3, the high-speed S's of turns 4, 5 and 6, and the Mickey Mouse complex formed by turns 12 through 16. It's a slow, tight, cumbersome section of circuit where drivers can fall foul to the terrible in-game physics of F1 22. Now, before we focus on qualifying, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race in Baku. There were no incident reports submitted by the drivers last week. As a result, the final finishing positions remain completely unchanged. In the Drivers' Championship, it is Big Al who is leading the way on 270 points, with Destiel in P2, his closest rival, on 218. He is 52 points behind, with only one round after Miami remaining. So if Destiel doesn't outscore Big Al by 12 points tonight, Big Al will become the Season 8 Pacific Tier 1 Drivers' Champion. Third in the Drivers' Championship is G-Force Ford. I mentioned it a bit earlier before we entered qualifying. He was in the championship fight. He was only 12 points behind Destiel and mathematically still in contention. But he's not here for tonight's race, so I'm afraid his championship's hopes are all but gone. Seb in P4 in the standings on 158 points, followed by Spicy Salami on 148. Then GeForce Leo on 143. Plebs is P7 on 131, followed by Ryan Bell, who was absent again, on 120, followed by F1 Ferrari Pro on 118, and Sire Luke on 105. Unlike the Drivers' Championship, the Constructors' Championship is looking like a very tight, very intense fight, with the top 3 teams in particular being separated by only 23 points. Ferrari are leading the way. They're on 324, just 1 point in front of Alfa Romeo on 323. Red Bull Racing are next on 301, with Haas and P4 on 338, and Alpine rounding out the top 5, 2 points behind on 236. AlphaTauri are next on 180, followed by McLaren on 178, then Mercedes on 171, then we have Aston Martin on 136, and Williams at the bottom of the table on 71 points. But that's it in terms of news. You can now focus on this stream. Hello Auntie Rara, nice to see you in the chat. And hello ACW. Pole prediction at 26.2. I reckon that's a fair enough lap time to put on the board. We'll see what these drivers are capable of. Of course, I wouldn't expect they'll be too close to that kind of time right at the beginning of the session. Track needs to evolve a little bit over the 15 minutes remaining in this quali session. Bate here making his way through the middle sector up towards turn 11. Probably the best overtaking spot on the circuit. You could try it down the inside and you can send it around the outside. Did a 0.8 in a lead, it was 0.3 off. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I remember ACW. I remember pointing that out at the end of qualifying, noticing your first sector split, how far you were down, and then you ended up beating your PB. So I reckon you could have challenged up towards the top of the board if you didn't muck up the first sector. Bate here making his way towards turn 17 as Kong sets the benchmark, 1 minute 27.477. See how everyone else can do. As Bate, he'll come up towards the line and set a flying lap. It's going to be a 27.590, just a tenth off AMS Kong. Nice to see some support for Sia Lu. Been on decent form. He actually performed decently well over in Baku. So hopefully you'll be able to continue that here this week. Hello, Pato.
Hello.
Joined a bit late.
Yep. Sorry.
That's alright, that's alright. Nice to have you here. I will introduce you in just a minute. I'll let you get yourself sorted. I'll ride on board here with Seb. Give the folks a guided tour of this 5.4 kilometre racetrack. Down the main straightaway towards turn 1. Seb will get on the brakes hard, bring it down to 4th gear for the opening corner. Short shift up to 5th gear as Luke jumps to the top with a 26.7. Out of the long right-hand sweeper of turn 3, Seb will now head up towards the S section of turns 4, 5 and 6. Very fast, very complicated S section where it's very easy to get it wrong. As we head around the triple left-hander of 6, 7 and turn 8. We'll make our way onto this flat-out section. Heading up towards the right-hand kink of turn 9. You'll open DRS and head around the left-hand kink here of turn 10. Up towards turn 11. As I mentioned before, probably the best overtaking spot on the circuit. 4th gear back on the accelerator as he makes his way around turn 12. This is the beginning of the Mickey Mouse section. Through turn 13 into the chicane of 14 and 15. Then towards turn 16. Important that you get a nice exit out of that left-hander so you can maximise the top speed down this long straightaway towards the incredibly tight left-hand hairpin of turn 17. Peak speed we're going to see here is 342 kilometres an hour. You'll bring it all the way down to 78 kilometres an hour at the apex of turn 17. Around turn 18 and then the final corner turn 19. To complete the lap, Seb jumps up to P2 with a 26.8. 600ths of Sia Luke's provisional pole time. How are you doing, Pato?
Oh, well, not bad. Watching the drivers here on some laps, so weather looks good, so yeah.
Yeah, we shouldn't have any wet weather interference, at least in qualifying, and I haven't got a notification from anybody suggesting that there's going to be wet weather in the race, so I'm thinking it's going to be a fairly dry race session all round. But since you're here, Pato, what are your general thoughts about Miami International Autodrome?
Well, for online racing, it's actually a really good track for racing, I think. I like to drive here. The only problem with this track is that I think it's the track where the traction is the most consistent thing I've ever seen on an F1 game. Especially in some corners like the airpin in the first sector.
Yep.
Or, for example, even turn 2 and 3.
Yep.
Which are quite complicated now. But yeah, I really like the track, and we'll see if the drivers will have a lot of straight line speed, because I think some of them are actually running 0-0 wings or stuff like that.
Yeah, I did notice that in the Discord where some of the drivers were talking about using wings down in single digits, which is ridiculous to think about, considering there are a few corners around here that you do need a bit of downforce.
Especially old sector 1.
Yeah, you know, turns 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you need downforce through all of that, and drivers are willing to sacrifice speed through the corners so they turn themselves into a bullet train down the straights.
Yeah, also because the slow section after the first DRS zone is something more of a mechanical grip rather than downforce. So in the end, you just lose time in sector 1, but then you can gain in sector 2 and 3 with the straight line speed you have.
Yeah.
I mean, I think 0-0 wings is a bit too much. I would run something like 3-1, 4-2, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But still, pretty low wings for this track, yeah.
Got plenty of drivers on out laps right now. We've got Bate on a flying lap. He's up by 23 thousandths of a second to the first sector. He makes his way through turns 9 and 10 and up towards turn 11. Peak speed we're going to see here, 343 kilometers an hour. Absolutely ludicrous speed into the left-hand hairpin. And around turn 12 we go. Up towards this tight complex, turns 13, 14, 15 and 16. I don't know about you, Pato, but I do find this area of the racetrack just a bit annoying. It's very slow, very cumbersome. There's not a lot of flow to it at all.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. Also, the low grip doesn't help as well, because over there it's quite easy to lose the car. But yeah, it could be better. Not gonna lie, but you know, it is how it is with F1 tracks. There's many of them who've got pretty annoying complexes of corners, so it's not the only one, that's for sure.
Oh, absolutely. As AMS Kong has jumped up to P3 with a 26.9, F1 Ferrari Pro will begin a flying lap and head towards turn 1. Oh, well, that doesn't help. He ran wide at turn 1, used too much of that extra bit of runoff area on the outside of the opening corner, and he's invalidated the lap. It's very tempting to use a lot of that tarmac on the outside of turn 1. Just can't be lured into using too much of it as Potsy spins. Nice pirouette, pointing back in the right direction, and unlike Charles Leclerc, he doesn't put it into a wall. Sorry, Marco.
All good.
Now, Spicy into turn 1. That's better. He doesn't invalidate through turn 1. Through turn 2. And around turn 3. That's another just... on a pad, turns 2 and 3 is just a nightmare to go through. You have to be so careful on the accelerator. If you use too much throttle, the car just spins. There's no hesitation. It will just spin.
Yeah, you need a really big short shift. For example, Bags is taking turn 3 in 6th gear, so yeah. You know.
Down towards turn 11.
Is he going wide? Yeah.
Wide. Off the racetrack, bringing out yellow flags in the opening sector. Spicy will make his way through the middle part of the lap. We've got Ferrari Pro pulling off to the side. Reese has just improved to P3. Seb's about to begin a flying lap. Luke on a flying lap, still occupying the top of the leaderboard.
Spicy is almost 4 times up in the second sector split, which is quite good. Put him into P2. Yeah,
it's looking at a high 26 here. If he can find a bit more time here in the final sector, he might be able to knock off Luke, put himself at the top of the board. Out of turn 18 and around the final corner of turn 19, Spicy crosses the line. It's enough for P2. He just misses out.
Pretty close to P1 as well. Oh no, not anymore.
There we are. Big Al, our championship leader, has jumped to the top. 1 minute 26.642, beating Luke by just under a tenth and a half, who goes back into pit lane. Evidently not too happy with his lap. GeForce Leo will cross the line, jump up to P7. Interesting, a 26.9. He is currently 3/10 off pole position. Mash Jr. not on a lap. Plebs is making his way out of turn 8. He's not using any battery, so he's not on a lap. T-Mac isn't on a lap either. Come on, there's got to be at least one driver on a flying lap, surely, somewhere. Seb goes back in. He was improving, but with only 5 minutes left, he elects to come back into the pits. A smart decision, because this circuit isn't short. Outlaps and in-laps do take a little while around here, so
yep,
it's important to manage the clock well during qualifying. Let's see here. T-Mac, yep, he'll go back in. Will Plevs have a go? He's got a full charge and he's not low on fuel. Or will he go back in and put on another set of soft tyres? Suppose we'll find out in just a second. Make his way around turn 17. Will he switch on the battery? No. He'll go back into pit lane. He'll put on his final set of soft compound tyres. Right, and wait. Right to the end of qualifying. T-Mac, on the other hand, is on a push lap, making his way through turns 4, 5, around the triple left-hander of 6, 7, and 8. Coming out to the left-hander. Nice and easy on the power to the first sector. He is down by 1/10 of a second. So he needs to get the hammer down, try and find time here in the middle part of the lap. Going to see a peak speed here from T-Mac of 340 kilometers an hour. He brings it down to third gear. Short shifts back up to fourth. He'll make his way around turn 12, hugging the inside line all the way round. Now he heads through the chicane. Oh, and spins at the chicane too, clipping the inside wall.
Yeah, that's odd. That chicane is always pretty hard and annoying and awkward as well.
Absolutely, because it forces you to cut as much as possible. You know, it's the same story with a lot of street circuits that have right-angled corners. You have to try and cut as much as you can to carry as much speed through the corner. The trouble is with that chicane, the wall is quite close to the apex that you need to hit. So if you turn in that little bit too much, you smack the wall, spin the car around as T-Mac floors it into the pits. Spicy retires.
Yeah, sad enough.
Not enough. So that's the best I can do. P3. The end.
Well, I think he's used all his tires, so yeah, makes sense.
Fair play. Either that, or he's only used 2 sets and he wants to save a set of soft tyres. Having raced with him now in Formula Endurance, I know little extra bits about Spicy's mentality, and he likes having an extra set of something, whether that be soft tyres or medium tyres. He likes having that extra set just for the race. So
yeah,
see what he does during the Grand Prix itself. See if he can hang on to P3 as well, as Max Jr. is making his way through the first sector, sliding out of 2, making his way around turn 3. The car very grip limited through that sweeper as he heads into the S's now. 6th gear, there is a Williams in front. He gets well out of the way as he heads around turn 6, round turn 7, and into turn 8. Short shifts up to 4th gear. Up to 5th gear, 6th gear, he invalidates the run. Oh, dearie me. He did that at the exit of turn 8, just ran a bit too wide. So Luke getting ready for his final flying lap. Bit of a wiggle out of turn 17. Make his way around the final corner and send it down the main straightaway. Current PB of a 26.7. He needs to improve by a little under a 10.5 if he wants to take pole position away from Big Al. He'll make his way around turn 3. Up towards the S's now of turns 4, 5 and 6. 8th gear. He'll bring it back down to 7th. Back down to 6th. He'll keep it in 6th gear around turn 6 and around turn 7 as well. And drop it down to 4th gear for turn 8. Up towards the first sector split. He's up by almost a 10th of a second. He needs to find a bit more time in the final 2 sectors though if he wants to take pole away from Big Al. Seb getting ready for his final run. Big Al off the track. That's at turn 8. That's qualifying done for Al, surely. At the time we have left, I don't think Al can improve. Through the chicane goes Cy Luke. Then around turn 16 onto the back straightaway. What does the clock say? He's lost time in the middle sector. He's only up now by 32 thousandths of a second. He'll head down towards turn 17, building up speed as he hits 344 kilometers an hour. Brings it all the way down to 3rd gear. Short shifts up to 4th. It's a tidy exit out of turn 17. Out of turn 18 and around the final corner. Is it enough for pole? The answer is no. He doesn't improve. Ferrari Pro jumps to the top. Unsurprising, actually. He had pace in Pacific Elite, but that isn't too surprising. Destiel has invalidated his final run. Destiel, the man who was 2nd in the Drivers' Championship, will start from last, from P16 for this Miami Grand Prix. Seb is down by 2/10 as Reese crosses the line, only improves by 41 thousandths. Kong is down by a fair chunk. Leo's done. He's down by 10 seconds as Potsy's up.
Oh, there's a Williams coming.
That's it.
And I think, yeah.
Around turn 18, up towards the final corner. Can he snag pole position away from Ferrari Pro? Ooh. Yes, he can. Not by much either. 16 thousandths of a second. Incredibly tight at the top of the board. Bags Liddell himself is up by 7/10 of a second. He's looking at a low 27 here. He'll cross the line to set a 27.2. That is P12 for the Aston Martin driver. Has Luke bailed on his lap out of curiosity? Poxy, that's who that person is, OCW. That is Poxy. You remember him from Jeddah in particular. Put on quite a show there. Yeah, qualifying's done for Luke. Qualifying's done for everybody else. So it's Poxy at the top of the board. 1 minute 26.589, beating Ferrari Pro. 1 minute 26.605. 16 thousandths of a second separating the top two. Yeah, I know, ACW, it's a bit difficult to maintain. And well done, Ferrari Pro. Front row start in Pacific Tier 1. Not a bad effort. Beating Big Al as well. Is in a really, really solid position for the sake of his Drivers' Championship hopes. Especially considering his main rival is starting dead last. So, there we are. Qualifying's done. A few shocks here and there. And at the top of the board, it's a Williams Poxy with an equal sign as his username today. He's at the top. Look at that. 17 thousandths. So the time's been adjusted accordingly. Ferrari Pro will line up alongside on the front row in P2. Big Al P3, just 52 thousandths of Poxy's time. Then we have Sire Luke lining up on the second row in fourth, followed by Spicy in P5, Seb P6, Reese P7. Then we have Kong, Leo and Plebs rounds out the top 10. 3.5 tenths separating the top 10. Then we have Mash Jr., Bait, Bags Liddell, Wogboy, T-Mac and Destiel will start from the back. 1 second separating all of the drivers who set times, and a little over 7.5 tenths separating the top 14. Very tight, especially considering this circuit is 5.5 kilometers long and it has 19 corners.
Yeah, amazing stuff.
No, awesome, absolutely awesome. I love competitive qualifying. It's always good to watch. Unfortunately, though, ACW, your pole time prediction, it was a bit off by, I don't know, 3 and a bit tenths of a second. Thank you for the bits as well, Auntie. I forgot to mention that. And it's good to see your support for Luke. He has really performed well as of late. He put on quite a performance over at Baku, as I said earlier. He drove really quite well at Baku. He had a really good car underneath him. So he's translated that pace over to this week here in Miami, which is awesome. Yeah. Oh, did you? Yeah, thanks, Silverfort. Cheers, bro. Did you know that the Hard Rock Stadium is the home of to the Miami Dolphins? No, David Croft, I had no idea. The only NFL team with a perfect season. No, I had no idea, mate. No idea. No. Only Crofty would know that. Only Crofty. Because he makes mention of it every time we go here. But did you know that this year they actually chucked the entire paddock inside the stadium?
Yeah, that was really good to see, actually.
It's creative. I like the idea because, you know, you got the whole stadium, you might as well use it for something. And they used it for the paddock. So that's different. It's unique. I'd say it's got nothing on Albert Park's paddock, because that's famously been one of the best paddocks to go to on the schedule. But it's cool, like, you know, utilize what you have, and that's exactly what the organisers of this event did. So that's pretty cool. Yeah. They still got fake water around though, instead of actual water. So.
And everybody on the hards.
Yep, everyone is on the hards.
apart from
Lonely Bates.
Yep.
P12 on the mediums. Oh, lucky you, ACW, got to go in once. Because, yeah, you see photos of the Australian Grand Prix paddocks like, holy moly. They really look after this area in particular. Oh, that was a bit of lag there. That was Mash Jr. lagging about. So we don't really need the detailed graphic right now. We know everyone's on the hard compound tyre. Except for Bate. Oh, a bit of an unsurprising decision.
Yeah. Yeah, the warm-up on the hards must be the ugliest thing in the world, basically, when you pit, if you start on mediums. So, yeah. Having
a whole lap where you can't lose position and can't damage a car, just warming up your tyres, you know, it's a huge incentive to start on the hard tyre. Whereas, if you do it in the middle of the race, there's a chance on cold tyres you're going to spin out and destroy the car, or spin out into somebody else and destroy their car. So, you know, use the formation lap to your advantage.
Exactly. And just consider, like, if you come out of the pits on the hards, you have to deal with turn 3 straight away with 70-degree tires.
Yep.
Which is not the best thing to do.
No, that corner is difficult enough with tyres that are warm, let alone tyres that are cold. So
yeah, just imagine that. So yeah.
Not to mention as well, if you go long enough on these hard tyres, you could put on softs and go to the end if you wanted to. So that happened in Elite on Sunday. All drivers are now lined up ready to run. We got 29 laps in front of us here in Miami Gardens. Got 10 red lights, and we're underway here in Miami. It's a nice start from our pole sitter. A nice start from Big Al, our championship leader. He looks to the inside at turn 1. They're side by side heading towards turn 2. Potsy has the dominant position. He will maintain the lead through turn 3. Luke's up to 3rd. Ferrari Pro down to 4th. Seb in 5th place with Reese Cohen right behind as we head through the S's for the first time. A little bit wide there from Luke. Ferrari Pro had to check up to avoid contact. Bate trying to move forward. He's up to 9th on those medium tyres. Destiel on a charge already. He's up 3 places, sorry. He's up to 13th already after the start. But all in all, Pato, a pretty clean start.
Yeah, I was watching behind, and Bates is getting P8 now. Yep. Reese as well, fighting. It's sad.
We head through this Mickey Mouse section. There's no real passing opportunities through here. You just follow the leader. Oh, that's a big cut from Reese there. As we head around turn 16 and onto the back straight away. No one using... Oh, Spicy using some battery. Bates using some battery. Got a couple of drivers using some battery. Now, who's close? Leo's closing in on Kong. Will he go for a move, perhaps? Luke's close to Al as well. He's going for a move, Leo, down the inside. Kong leaves room. So does Leo, but that slide puts Leo back in his place. Around the outside. He'll get him before turn 1. Plebs to P10. Oh, very close to tapping the rear end of the Alpine there through turn 1. But that's what being patient gives you. You know, the opportunity to make position when your rivals make mistakes. Oh, bags! Exactly. Destiel side by side. Destiel moves in front. That is a gamey overtake around the outside of turn 4. Fully committed. He made it work. Plebs, Leo battling away. And Bates on the attack too.
Yep.
So Bate moves through into 7th position. Leo counter-attacking. Plebs defending as we head into turn 11. Leo tries to send it around the outside. Can he send it down the inside? No, he can't. Plebs has him covered. So some good battling here in the mid-pack. These guys are fighting hard, but no contact made. A lot of respect being shown by all drivers involved. Good stuff.
Yep.
And the train hasn't broken up either. Everyone's still within a second.
Exactly. No, it was exactly what I was about to say.
It's fantastic stuff. You always enjoy seeing this, a competitive field, battle competitively as we head on to lap 3 of 29. Big Al hunting down Potsy as we go into turn 1. The gap sits at 2.5 tenths with Sire Luke in third, 6 tenths behind. Just needs to stay within that 1 second range. As Ferrari Pro, he is closing in a little bit. So the Ferrari driver getting a bit closer to the Alpine driver as we go through the S section once again. Alright, what can Big Al do? DRS is now enabled. Will he go for the move or will he wait? That is the question. He's got battery turned on. He switches it off again. T-Mac gets by Wogboy. That's for 15th position. That's the final point scoring spot. Right there, 15th. Al closing in, looking to the outside, does not commit to the move. Ples gets by Cole.
Yep.
Down the inside goes Destiel and Leo. They're side by side through turn 11. Into turn 12. Leo using the runoff area to keep the battle alive as we head through turn 13. Into the chicane. Destiel doesn't give in. Neither does Leo. They somehow get through the chicane side by side. And they're going to get around turn 16 as well side by side. Incredible.
And look at Baz is already there, 1/10 away.
Big Al now takes the lead from Potsy just before turn 17. Potsy having a poor run. He spun actually. Spun at turn 17. The camera angle turned away from that as Luke goes into the pits. He must have collided with the Williams of Potsy. Luke is into the pits.
Ah, what a shame.
Absolutely. See what happens here. Yeah, front wing change. So, no front wing change. Interesting. Maybe he had a set to a front wing change and he didn't get it, perhaps? Don't know. But he came in. For whatever reason, he's changed tyres. He hasn't got any repairs to the car whatsoever. So that's a bit peculiar with that one. See if he pits again. A bit of drama towards the front of the field with what happened to Seb, Luke and Potsy at turn 17. Destiel dive bombing down the inside at turn. Contact wheel to wheel as they head towards turn 12. Leo trying to keep the fight alive. Destiel in the dominant position moves through into 10th place. Leo can't fight that one through the chicane. Oh, but he bumps him and turns the Haas driver. Destiel plummets back down to 15th position. Leo, oh, what's going on here? We got Bags off to the side. Mash Jr. moves through. Wogboy's going to join the fray. As Leo's now down in 14th place. Wogboy gets in front of Bags Liddell. Mash Jr. now leads this group. As we head around turn 17. And we're seeing a lot. Oh, spin! There goes Bags. He'll get pointed back in the right direction, but he's now down in 15th place. Big Al leading the way. 1.9 seconds is the gap between the top two, with Seb in third. Potsy P4. Reese Cohen behind in fifth. Followed by Bate on the medium compound tyre in P6. He's had a quite tidy start. He's up 6 positions. He's made up the most out of anybody. So he's utilising the grip that those medium tyres provide. He's utilising it well. Potsy's closing in on Seb as we head towards turn 11. Seb covers the inside, but it doesn't matter. Potsy forces the issue. It's tight through turn 11 as we head into turn 12. They're side by side. Oh, sideways goes Potsy. And they're still side by side through the chicane. Someone has to give. Seb cuts the corner and he maintains the position. Oh, but Potsy fights back. He's got to run. He gets in front. Potsy moves to third. Reese Cohen's going to try and follow through with DRS open. Potsy shuts the door. Reese can't find a way through. He looks to the inside but does not commit to the move. Seb trying to keep the fight alive as Potsy makes a small mistake. Wiggles the car out of turn 17. He maintains third. He's got battle on behind as well as Bate tries to get by Spicy as we go into turn 1. He gets in front. That's P6.
Yep.
Oh, gee whiz. A lot of battling going on. Mash Jr. getting in front of Wogboy. Oh, it's tied through three. Mercedes gets in front. Mash can't fight that. He stays in P11 and T-Mac closes in.
They actually touched.
Oh dear. Oh, and touch again, I think, between Junior and Destiel there at turn 7. T-Mac a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as he drops behind GeForce Leo. Destiel trying to close in, Leo trying to close in as well as we head towards turn number 11. Deep under brakes, pulls the car up as we head around turn 12. Into the Mickey Mouse section. Wogboy just in front of this group.
Oh, and Mesh goes wide.
Oh, and I think there was contact. Oh, it's Mash. Yeah, okay. He must have went straight on and checked up, did he? And let everyone else through. He's still got a time penalty for that. T-Mac on the back of GeForce Leo. Oh, I can't quite find a way through just yet, but he's right on the back of the Red Bull. Back up towards this mid-pack fight. We have Popsy leading the group in the Williams. Reese Cohen in second for Aston Martin. Seb third in the Red Bull. Bate fourth in the queue. He's in the AlphaTauri on those medium compound tyres, I will add.
Pretty clean racing though. Miami is quite dangerous as a track and safety cars can happen, sure. But for now it looks pretty good. So GG to all the drivers so far.
Yeah, they've battled. There's been some battles that were really hard fought between a few different drivers. Some contact, some spinning I've seen. But I think from about 80% of the grid it's been really good so far. Just a few bits of contact here and there. They've sort of spoiled the fun a little bit because the field has spread out somewhat after all this battle.
Yeah. And Big Al is having actually a big gap now, 2.3 seconds ahead.
Yeah.
Of Ferrari Pro.
I wouldn't discount Ferrari Pro just yet either. He demonstrated some pretty good pace on Sunday. He dug deep, put together a brilliant second place finish, just missing out on the race win by half a second. So he'll be spurred on by that performance. And look at the gap. It has shrunk a little bit. It's down to 2.2.
Oh, and they spun.
Oh no. He has to. He's in the wall. And Ghosting's turned on, so everyone else behind should be able to avoid him. They do avoid him.
I don't think he's got any damage, to be honest. But because I caught it live and didn't touch the wall pretty badly. So.
Okay. That's good, but unfortunately now all that hard work done on those mediums, gone. Yeah. All of it.
And as a result, Spicy has actually lost DRS now.
Yeah, look at that. He's now 1.4 seconds behind Seb, and he doesn't look like he's going to close that gap.
It's looking like he's having some oversteer moments in the slow section, Spicy.
Hey, look at that gap between the top two. It's 1.9.
Yep.
Like I said, Ferrari Pro put together a really fine drive as bags are spun.
Yep.
It's P15. I'm going again. Not a lot of grip on those hard tires.
Bro, big moment. Big moment out of the airpin. Just lost a lot of time now. 2.6 now.
Destiel moves on through. He overtakes Wogboy. He's up to P9, and yeah, that gap has increased. 2.6 seconds now.
Wogboy wants to have a go, maybe.
Nope. Wogboy tends to be the more conservative type. Doesn't go for those aggressive style of dive bombs. Oh, huge moment! Gee whiz!
Oh, he hit the wall, I think.
Then he he was wall riding all the way through turn 3 as a result.
Yeah.
And now T-Mac right on the back of the Mercedes. I wouldn't be surprised if Wogboy got damage after that snap of oversteer. Here we go, T-Mac closing in with battery deployed to the inside. Round turn 10, he'll make his way through, that is P11. Mash Jr.'s closing in, he looks to the inside, needs to dive it in, he does. Gets in front, Bait gives Wogboy a bit of a push and a spin! Oh, well, dearie me, it's going from bad to worse for Bait.
Yeah. Yeah, I think he went too aggressive over there. And
dear oh dear. Ferrari Pro's charge has ended. The gap has increased to 2.9 seconds. Ferrari Pro, he needs to stay focused, keep his eyes on the car in front of Big Al. He can't worry about Potsy. Potsy low on battery, you can tell from the flashing red light on the back of the car. He's on 10%, Reese on 20%, but he's low on fuel. Seb on 46%, Spicy on 38%, who is desperately trying to get back within 1 second of Seb in P5. Plevs P7, followed by Kong in the other McLaren. We have Destiel, oh Kong, dearie me, a 3-second time penalty. Destiel P9 and Leo rounds out the top 10. Back up to this fight. Up towards turn 11. Now, I wonder what Reese is thinking right now. He's back in the green in terms of fuel, so fuel isn't an issue for Reese.
yeah, and Reese was having a moment as well. Wow. Yeah, these slow downforce cars, of course, are pretty unstable in the slow section.
Yes.
It's pretty easy to lose it.
A couple of drivers have already demonstrated over the course of this race so far it is easy to lose a car, particularly through the low speed stuff. Reese can't close in by enough to attack Potsy in the Williams. Ferrari Pro steadily losing touch of Big Al, the gap increasing to 3.1 seconds. We head back onto the main straightaway. It's lap 11 of 29. We have got 19 laps to go here at Miami International Autodrome. A long way to go, and I must say, a bit of extra cloud cover. We're not set for any rain as Wogboy gets a speeding penalty. Bait goes in as well. So he's had enough of these tyres. He wants a set of hards to put on. Wogboy, that is very early for me. Those are inters. Pato, Bait's just put on inters.
Alright. Okay.
Race over for Bait unless there's a safety car. He's just screwed himself there. He must have chosen intermediates completely by accident.
Yeah, must be. And of course now he needs to be very careful because if he crashes, there's gonna be a safety car. He's not gonna have a lot of grip right now.
Can't drive like a clown, and hopefully he doesn't. So his teammate gets a time penalty for multiple warnings. Well, it seems that Ferrari Pro might have got his head back down. The gap did decrease to 2.9. Ferrari Pro's not giving up. And Big Al, he's not streaking away. He doesn't have a ton of battery. He doesn't even have a ton of fuel. In fact, he's in the red. He's got 0.05, I think that is. 0.06 under. So he's pretty much even in terms of fuel. So this is an outright pace duel between Al and Ferrari Pro, and they're dead even.
Yeah.
Going to come down to minimizing mistakes.
Yeah, Ferrari Pro at least is gaining on P3, so it's looking good for him. At least it's going to create a gap, and if you're safe to the car behind, it's always easier to drive a bit more aggressively. Look at Plevs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Huge overspeed. Nothing Spicy could do in that situation. You were standing still, pretty much. Couldn't do a thing. Match Junior to the inside of T-Mac here at turn 11. They're side by side, heading into turn 12. T-Mac holds on to the position, keeps P11. Spicy re-overtakes Plevs. That is at the exit of turn 16.
Oh, look at
and here
Kong
comes
as
Kong.
well. Oh my god.
He's got DRS open, he's following the Alpine, getting a slipstream. He's now going into the middle of the racetrack, back onto the racing line. He's going to try and go round the outside of Plevs here at turn 17. Plevs doesn't give him a lot of room, but he gives him just enough. And some smart driving from Plevs means he hangs on to P6 for now. But Kong has DRS open, so does Spicy. Looking to the outside at turn 1. Spicy outbrakes his reserve driver teammate as we head into turn 2. Spicy gets in front. Kong fights back through 3. Oh my word. How did they not crash?
Amazing stuff.
By the way, the gap shrunk. It's 2.2 between the top two.
Now. Yeah.
So maybe Al made a mistake somewhere and the gap dropped a bit. Maybe.
Could be, yeah.
This is on between these two. And I reckon strategy's going to play a little part in this.
Yeah.
Who's going to play the undercut game? Who's going to play the overcut game? That is the question. Or will they pit at the same time and just keep it as a battle in terms of pace? Who knows?
Well, if they pit now, I think they're gonna have some clean air in front. Because I think they're gonna be between T-Mac and Bags. Actually, yeah, they're fighting actually. Mash Junior and T-Mac.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, between T-Mac and Bags Liddell. So, we'll see who makes the first move.
Alright, DRS open here on T-Mac's car. He's a bit too far away though from Mash Junior's Ferrari to do anything. See if he can keep this battle alive. Speaking of battles, we've still got Potsy, Cohen and Seb all in a train. Potsy looks pretty comfortable in P3. He's got really nice performance in that car. He hasn't let Reese get close enough to him to allow him to attack. But he hasn't been able to close in massively on Ferrari Pro either. So he's sort of stuck in the middle in a sense. He's fast enough to keep Reese at bay, but not quite quick enough to attack F1 Ferrari Pro.
Yeah, looks like it. And he's back still on inters now, he's on mediums, okay.
Yes, so he's pitted again, he's put on a set of mediums. Bait, he's now 40 seconds behind Wogboy. In fact, he's a solid kilometre away from getting lapped by Big Al. They're on the same straightaway. So,
yep.
Bait needs to keep it clean and not get lapped.
Yeah, all the guys are gonna pit though, so...
That's right. Now, it's lap 14. Will we see someone box? Bait sets a new fastest lap. Al stays out for another. So does Ferrari Pro, but now Potsy starting to turn on the taps and close the gap up. It's now 1.1 seconds between Ferrari Pro and himself in P3.
Yeah, it's now out of battery, Potsy.
Yes.
It's got just 5%.
He didn't have much to begin with too. He had like 16% or something, so he's used on what's ever left to deploy, and he's gotten to within a second of Ferrari Pro as well. He might snag some DRS if he gets a nice run out of turn 8.
Yeah, Ferrari Pro needs to push now. He doesn't use battery though. Maybe Ferrari Pro wants to pit now, don't know.
Have to wait and see. Potsy's turned it on, he's turned it on so much he's out of battery. Entering turn 11. Towards turn 12. Gap sits at 0.8 of a second. It's now a 4-car train. We have Ferrari Pro at the front, Potsy in third. And we have Reese, Cohen and Seb at the back of the train, who are getting awfully close to one another. Actually exiting turn 16. Seb was practically on Reese's gearbox. Alright, leader, Big Al. He's got a lead of 2.8 seconds. It's a comfy, healthy gap. Does he pit? No, is the answer. Ferrari Pro is in. It's the undercut game. Reese and Seb are doing the same. Who's made the right call? The undercut or the overcut? Let's see.
I think it's gonna be the undercut because let's see where Ferrari Pro comes out. It should be in front of Mesh, maybe.
Here comes Mash down the main straightaway. This is going to be tight with his substitute teammate. He'll get in front, but he's on cold tyres. We're not going to have a lot of grip through this opening sector.
Well, at least he can give his teammate some DRS assistance for a couple of laps. Seb is speeded now as well. And Reese and Seb are actually behind Mesh. Well, I think Mesh is gonna try and help his teammate then. He's lost DRS already, but you know, he can play the team game.
Ferrari Pro opening up the taps himself on his fresh tyres. He knows what he needs to do. This is a really important part in the context of this race. This outlap needs to be mega. Big Al, what's he going to do? Is he going to respond? Yes, he is. The race leader is in. Potsy, he's in too. A lap later. Plebs, will he stay out or will he come in? Staying out. Staying out. Coming in. So does Destiel. Destiel's in too. Medium tyres for Big Al. Now he had 2.8 seconds as a margin to his nearest rival F1 Ferrari Pro, who is making his way down the main straightaway. Exiting the pits. Oh, there is Leo. Leo tries to find a way by. He's got speed and momentum. He's got warm tyres as well. Didn't foresee this. Leo all over the back of Big Al, applying pressure already.
Ooh, Leo loses the car big time.
Will he switch on the battery? Doesn't look like it. Ferrari Pro trying to close in on warm tyres now. They're up to temperature. Same with Potsy in P6, who was broken away from Reese. Seb's tumbled down. What's happened to Seb?
He stopped twice.
He must have got damaged. Oh, he spins into the wall! He's out of the race! He's out of the race! And the safety car has been deployed!
I was about to say Plebs and Spicy were playing the long game. And yeah, I didn't say it, but I kinda jinxed it to the others. Yeah.
Oh my goodness me.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Race changing moment. Plebs and Spicy are in. How much of a gain have they made? Let's see. They should get in front of Kong and Destiel. Surely. And what will they fit on to? Set of mediums, I'm guessing?
Yeah, surely.
Yep. So they've been gifted a few positions here. They're up to P5 and P6, and they're going to be right on the back of Cohen and Co. Oh my goodness. Hey man. Luck is a very important factor when it comes to racing, when it comes to any sport.
Yeah. Definitely.
Spicy's lucked out 2 races in a row here at Miami when it comes to safety cars. He's lucky salami right now. And it's working. It's working. He's in P6. He's on fresh tyres. And he has every right to try and attack those in front. Same with Plebs in P5, playing that longer game. It's worked out a treat.
Yep. Someone is on softs actually. It's smooth. Wow.
I mean, you're down in P12.
Why not?
You know, you can try and gain some places with the tyre. There might be another safety car period that will extend the life of those tyres.
Yeah.
Was he using battery? Don't know. I don't know why Reese was using battery if he was using battery. I didn't pick up on that. I don't know why you would be using battery. Maybe he maybe it's a way to dump extra fuel? I don't know.
No idea.
Because one thing that does happen behind these safety cars is that you save up a lot of fuel. And if you got extra in reserve, all that does is create a very heavy race car. And nobody likes a heavy race car. So
Yeah.
man, what a game changer with Seb's spin. Honestly, it looked like he just floored it and spun it into the barrier from the way it looked from the outboard cam.
Yeah, I completely lost the rear. Don't know. It's a weird accident, yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah, there he is. He's using battery there. How peculiar. No idea why he's using battery there. Got no idea. Oh.
Well, now it's gonna be pretty easy. Everyone on mediums, basically.
Yeah.
No surgery involved anymore.
Yeah, Luke's pitted in again for a set of mediums. Bates coming in. He can't spend too long in the pit lane. The safety car will only stay out for 3 laps. So, and he's a fair way behind right now. Oh, he's actually broken the front wing. So he's got a near one on. He's got a ton of catching up to do. He needs to put the hammer down to try and catch up, honestly. Close in by what? 30 seconds a lap to those behind the safety car. He really needs to put the hammer down.
Yeah.
Alright, we're waiting for Mr. Bate. We'll run through the order as it stands right now. Championship leader, Big Al, is leading the way with F1 Ferrari Pro in second place. Poxy in P3, followed by Reese Cohen in fourth. Plevs P5. Then the two McLarens of Spicy and Kong. Destiel is P8. He's recovered well after starting last. He's got GeForce Leo right behind. He and Destiel have made some contact in the past. I wonder if they'll make contact again. Ash Jr. rounds out the top 10. Then we have Bags Liddell, who doesn't have a penalty next to his name down in P11. So he'll be hoping to gain a few positions with the penalties that other drivers have. You've got Rogboy in P12, T-Mac in P13, Luke in P14, and Bate. Got to catch up a bit. Down in 15th.
Yep, and it's gonna be now. I think we're gonna have 10 racing laps in the end.
Yep.
No, actually 9. 9. Because I think the safety car will start anyway.
Yeah.
Even though Wade doesn't reach the queue.
Yep. So, does need to get a move on, Batesy boy. Hopefully you'll be able to catch up and get involved in the race. Yeah, I imagine that's not particularly fun, Crush. Guy gives you wing damage like that. Ah. Hate getting wing damage in any circumstances because it's an impossible thing to drive around when you get, well, it's even more impossible when you get floor damage or rear wing damage because there's literally nothing you can do to try and fix it. If a front wing, you can do something about it. Getting wing damage, yeah, just not a fun thing at all. Straight into a wall, yeah. Yeah. Done that before. With a broken front wing. You'd be surprised just how little downforce you get when you got a broken wing. Alright, Big Al, it's down to you. When does he go? He takes off. It's a solid restart. Poxy's on the back of Ferrari Pro already. It's now lap 21 of 29. We've got 9 laps to go. Poxy, can he attack into turn 1? No, he cannot. Destiel had a brief look down the inside of Kong, but didn't commit to a move as we head through turn 2 and around turn 3. Mash Jr. tumbles down the order. Something's happened to him. He's had an awkward run through 1, 2 and 3 and drops down to 15th as Destiel and Kong battle away side by side through 4 into turn 5 and towards turn 6. Destiel gets in front around the outside at turn 5. Bit wide there from Leo, but you are kind of allowed to do that. I have noticed that. Kong dumping a bit of his battery, sitting in the slipstream of Destiel's Haas, closing the gap up. Can he try and find a way through? He will have to look around the outside. Oh, Destiel outbrakes himself. Ooh. Kong draws alongside. Oh, wheel to wheel.
Touch.
And Destiel now under attack from Leo.
It's going to be tied.
Oh, and they somehow get through. Destiel just outbraking himself by a wee bit at turn 11. Cost him, and here comes Leo on the attack. He turns on the battery. Oh, and a late movement from Destiel. Contact between him and Leo as Leo sends it down the inside. Oh, a bit of a lag freeze there. Leo stays in P9. Gee whiz, that was a seriously late move.
Yeah, way too late, way too late.
Around turn 1 into turn 2 and up towards turn 3. Ags Liddell looking pretty solid now in P10. No pens next to his name still. He's got Sideloop right behind. He's on the recovery drive after a fairly average race. Put together a good qualifying. The race completely the opposite. So he'll be looking to get every point he can find. GeForce Leo gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Now, Al has already increased his gap at the front to 1.1 seconds. Needs to keep his head down to try and extend the gap. Ferrari Pro needs to get his head down to try and close the gap.
Yeah, it's going to be key for Ferrari Pro to stay with him.
If he can't do it, I have a feeling Ferrari Pro will see Big Al drive off away from him as Mash Jr. gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Down the back straight away we go. Destiel closing in on Kong. Kong defends. Destiel goes to the inside. Kong squeezing him towards the wall. He moves back to the racing line. Destiel outbrakes his rival as Liddell and Leo battle away. Kong gets back in front, but not quite. Destiel gets better drive out of the corner and keeps P7.
Yeah, and Kong has had a bad moment after the airpin on the exit.
Down the inside goes Sideloop on bags Liddell as we head towards turn 2. Liddell hangs on to the position as he had the inside line entering the left-hander. Exiting the right of turn 3. You can see Kong has that flashing red light on the back of the car. He is low on battery. You can tell from the telemetry here on Leo's car, he's got plenty of battery. As Kong gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Luke close to Liddell. Liddell dumping battery.
Sorry, Pro.
Oh yes, Poxy moving through around the outside. Ferrari Pro defends that inside line as we head around turn 12. This battling is helping Big Al as Leo gets by Kong. Luke gets by Liddell as he has the inside line at turn 12. He moves in front of the Aston Martin and goes into 10th place. Kong on the back of GeForce Leo. Leo still has DRS thanks to Destiel in front, so Kong can't do much. Poxy on the other hand can. He's down the inside heading towards turn 17. He gets in front, pulls the car up and moves through into second position. There's your race leader. Here's second and third, just behind is Reese Cohen in third, and we have Plebs rounding out the top 5. Spicy in P6 has dropped a little bit. Lost a little bit of time. Needs to stay with Plebs. Keep his hopes of a podium alive. T-Mac, a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings as the battle towards the tail end of the field is starting to heat up. Potsy, can he do anything to Big Al? Can he close in? He's within a second. Does he have DRS? Yes, he does. It's game on then. Potsy will gain down the straightaway thanks to the sheer power of DRS. Ferrari Pro is losing touch of him already as Cohen closes in. Down the inside goes Leo at turn 11. Couldn't make the move fully stick. Destiel hangs on to the position. Just behind Kong is under pressure from Luke.
And Leo actually touched with Destiel twice.
These two have been making contact all the way throughout this Grand Prix. When will it end? Will it end with them battling across the line, or will it end with one of them or both of them in the barrier? To the inside goes Leo. He gets in front of the Haas. The Haas starts back to the inside to try and counter, but to no avail. Leo moves into 7th position as Kong gets another penalty.
The Seals have a big moment as well in the exit.
Down towards T1. Kong. He's now accumulating time penalties and Luke's on the back of him. Meanwhile behind we got Liddell in P11 with Wogboy, T-Mac, Bate and Mash Jr. hovering right behind. And at the front we got a 2-car battle between Al and Potsy. Potsy with a fairly average run through turn 8. He loses time. Not enough though to give DRS to Ferrari Pro.
Oh, watch out. It's pretty close to Big Al.
Here we go. To the inside he'll look. To the inside he'll send. And to the inside he moves into the lead on lap 25. But this battle ain't over. It ain't anywhere near over as Luke and Kong battle away through turn 11. As we head through turn 12, they're still side by side. Through turn 13, up towards turn 14, Luke stays in front. Kong moves down to 10th. Al will close in with the power of DRS, and he has battery to spare. He closes in, not by enough to attack Potsy though, into turn 17. And remember, Big Al has got bigger games to play in the context of this championship. All he needs to do realistically is finish. He does not need to win this race. Destiel is down in 8th. So long as he finishes here, he will be the Season 8 Pacific Tier 1 Drivers' Champion. I'm sure that's looming in the back of his mind. Ferrari Pro. Can he do anything? He is just outside of DRS range. He needs a mega first sector. Through turn 4, into turn 5, cutting as much as he dares. He gains a 10th. He gains a 10th and a half. Can he snag some DRS? Potsy's driving away. He's got 8 tenths to Big Al already. He's flying right now.
Yeah, he is. My goodness me. He hasn't got any battery either.
323 kilometers an hour into turn 11 without the need of battery or DRS. That is seriously quick. Destiel, Leo battling away again through turn 12. It's Leo who wins the battle, but the war ain't over, folks. It definitely isn't over between these two. Al with DRS open. Can he find a way back by? Does he want to find a way back by? Ferrari Pro still doesn't have DRS.
Yeah.
Reese does in P4, but he's not gaining by enough. He is half a second back, unable to close in by any more. Ferrari Pro has lost a couple of tenths. It's 1.1. 3 laps to go here in Miami. Got a battle on here. There's Bate and Jr. Battle out of turn 18 as Kong goes into the pits. He may retire from the race, I'm not sure. Liddell, T-Mac side by side through 1. Oh, Liddell loses control, gains it back again, but loses the position in the process. And spin! Touch. Oh no! Spin between Wogboy and Bags Liddell. Wogboy moves down to 14th place as a result. Potsy, he's got almost a second in hand to Big Al. I don't think Big Al has anything in response. Into turn 11. Gap shrinks to half a second as Destiel and Leo fight again. Destiel covers that inside line. Luke's going to try and get involved. tried to have a look down the inside of turn 12, but he wisely backed out of it. Baton Jr. battling away, and Bags Liddell's going to try and get involved. Unfortunately, though, he's got a broken front wing on that Aston. He won't be able to do much. There's Kong in 15th on fresh tyres, so he hasn't retired yet. Match Jr., a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting. The penalties are coming thick and fast. Potsy just hanging on to the race lead, making his way through turn 18, and the final corner of turn 19 will begin the penultimate lap. Lap 28 of 29, as Leo's dropped down to 9th. He's now behind Luke and Destiel in P7, as they begin the second last lap of the Grand Prix. Elsewhere,
Big Al has lost a lot of time, actually. 1.2 now is the gap.
So seems that Potsy has got all the speed in the world, as Kong has made a mistake. Oh no, he's deliberately backing off there. He was deliberately backing off. I'm totally sure why, but Potsy has found this growth spurt of speed out of nowhere. He's taken the lead and is driving away from Big Al, who has led this race all the way through. As we head into turn 11. Then turn 12, can Ferrari Pro perhaps snag a second away from Big Al? Luke and Destiel are battling away. Luke finds a way through. He did it down the inside at turn 11 and moves past the Haas driver. Destiel down to 8th, and Leo now joins back into the fight, but those 6 seconds worth of time penalties are ultimately going to hold him back. Back up towards this, Ferrari Pro with DRS open, trying to close in on Al. Reese closing in too, with Plez hovering back in P5, unable to close in much more. Meanwhile, Luke under pressure from Destiel, as Leo tries to have a look around the outside. He can't get it done. Leo stays in 9th. Destiel stays in P8. It's the final lap of the Grand Prix. 5.4 kilometers to go. What can Ferrari do?
Exactly. He's pretty close to Big Al. It seems like he's lost a lot of grip in his tires. He's got a shot, that's for sure. Battery levels are pretty similar as well.
This is it.
Really good exit. It's got a good run.
What will Ferrari Pro do? He's closing the gap up. That's the power of DRS. Can he get in front into turn 11? He looks, but does not commit to the move. Not yet. He's going to go for one last opportunity down at the turn 17 hairpin. Meanwhile, this is still ongoing, this battle for P7. They've been going at it all race, Destiel and Leo, and Luke joined the fray and recovered up to P7. But out in front is Potsy. Like I said, he got a growth spurt of speed as soon as he put on the mediums. He's been somewhat untouchable. Pulled away while leading at the front. He'll come around turn 17 for the final time. Destiel will get in front of Luke as well. It'll be Potsy who wins the Miami Grand Prix, but with Big Al's second place, he is the Season 8 Pacific Tier 1 Drivers' Champion. Ferrari Pro puts together a fine drive to finish in third. Reese Cohen P4. Plez rounds out the top 5. Look at the gap between that top 5, by the way. 2.4 seconds at the end of this race.
Wow.
They gave it their all. At the end of the day, it's Potsy who wins this battle, but it's Big Al who's won the war.
Yep. GG to him. What a season for him.
Oh, as Kong crashes out. Turn 17. He said, screw it, I ain't finishing. I'm not giving the track any satisfaction. He bonks it into the barrier. Destiel's given driver of the day, unsurprisingly. Starting from the very back, he's made his way back into the top 10. Unfortunately, a poor qualifying meant that he was essentially taken out of championship contention. But well done to this man on screen. Put together a fine effort right at the end of the Grand Prix, and will end up taking the win. Potsy, our victor of the Miami Grand Prix. Big Al, home in second, our drivers' champion. P3 to Ferrari Pro. A fine drive earns him a podium finish. The unofficial results then of the Miami Grand Prix. Potsy is our race winner with Big Hal home in P2, our newly crowned Drivers' Champion for Season 8 in Pacific Tier 1. Ferrari Pro home in a fine third, with Reese Cohen home in fourth, players rounding out the top 5. Then we have Spicy P6, Destiel from 16th, recovered to 7th. Sire Luke recovered as well. He qualified 4th, had a poor start, but he recovered to P8. Leo P9, Bait rounds out the 10. Then we have Bags Liddell, T-Mac Nash Jr., Wogboy, Con classified in 15th. And our only retirement, Seb, the game-changing retirement of Seb that completely changed the race. No, well done to our top 3. Potsy as well. Potsy, mate, that's your first win of the season. I just checked that. I knew you finished on the podium at least once back at Saudi Arabia. You now finished on the top step here in Miami, mate. So mega effort. But obviously, huge kudos to Big Al. Congrats, mate, you did it. Long season, a lot of stuff happened, and at the end of the day, your consistency pays off. You're our Drivers' Champion for this season. Unfortunately, though, I can't bring him in for interviews as much as I would really love to. We'll get Ferrari Pro in, though. I'm sure he'd love to have a little chit-chat about that race. He put on fairly fine display and earned that podium place. We'll get him in. Can have a chit-chat. Let's see here. Ferrari Pro, there you are. Oh. Yeah, for Ferrari Pro, this will be podium 1. This is podium number 2 of this season. Gee whiz. Hello, Ferrari Pro.
Hey boys, how we going?
Not too bad, mate. I'll just quickly adjust the audio stuff. There we go. But mate, P3 at the end of that one. You heard that?
Oh man, that was so like a really sweaty race. Honestly, like I had the slower car again tonight because I didn't want to change my wings and make them lower. But oh my god, like you had to push just through the corners to get away from them on the straights and that. Oh, it was fun.
It looked like a fairly clean drive, minus a couple of slides here and there, but I feel like on a racetrack like Miami, that's only really inevitable. So a mega effort, and a mega effort in qualifying as well. A front row start, you must have been that. Well, you were happy with that.
Yeah, I was real, because when I got the provisional pole, I was like, oh, let's go in that. But then when the P2 got taken off, I was like, oh yeah, it's still alright. But nevertheless, I was really happy to be starting in the front row again.
You didn't miss out by much, 17 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, that's close.
It is close. The breadth of a bee's bum close.
Yeah.
But no, you put together a fairly tidy start from what I could remember for the Grand Prix.
Yeah, it was a like Sunday. It was a pretty good start again. Oh well, when I say pretty good, I think I could have used up a bit more of the grip that the tyres had to offer, because I didn't have much trust in them at the launch. So I had a pretty slow start, but like staying out of incidents and that was pretty nice.
Eventually, though, you found yourself in second place, and you had enough momentum to keep up with Al. And in fact, you were closing in on him at one point. That must have been confidence inspiring.
Yeah, it really was. Like, even just pushing the car with the amount of battery I had, because my battery saving wasn't the greatest that race, but like even just pushing that hard, it was and staying with Big Al. Like he's a quick dude, and by the way, congrats on the championship, mate. But yeah, well, it definitely was a confidence booster while it lasted. But
Pato managed to pick it up. He made a big slide and it turned 17 earlier in the race. Did you tell yourself, right, no more of that, I need to knuckle down?
It was more like push the car more, but do it in a safer manner. Like, slow in, fast out, but really like fast out. So even just through like the big sweepers and that, like I had to push, and if I slid, I just had to like try save it as quick as I can, as safe as I can. So, but yeah, it for sure was like a how can I say it? Like a big warning sign, I should say.
Yeah,
it could have cost my race.
Could have, but it didn't. So, fate didn't take a podium away from you. But your pit strategy was interesting. You elected to go for an undercut. What was the thought process at the time?
Well, speaking of the slides, I think I had a big slide on one of the sweepers. I think, I've dropped a lot of time with the cars behind, so I thought instead of getting overtaken on track, I might as well try a pit in front of them, get the undercut essentially. Try do it on them. So it did happen, and I got really lucky with the safety car at that stage because I could save a bit of battery in that. So yeah, I think that's what I was aiming for my pits.
Yeah, no, the safety car did come around and it bunched everybody up. Everyone was on the same tyres, essentially. Slightly different ages, but they were all pretty much the same, so it was going to be a straight-up shootout. It looked like you gave it your all to try and keep up with Big Al, and you were pretty much equal with him. But someone who wasn't was Potsy behind you in the Williams. He came out like a bat out of hell after the safety car on the mediums. Was that a bit surprising?
I mean, it's like the safety car restarted him. Like he just came out of nowhere. Yeah, and I think Big Al probably was even shocked. But he drove a great race also, and he used like every advantage he had. So yeah, fair play to him.
But no, you kept off your rivals at the end of the race as well. You had Reese on the back of you for a fair while, and Plebs wasn't too far behind. But you hold your own. He ended up taking a P3 finish, which actually is your second podium finish this season in Tier 1. Your first one, get this, came in the very first race.
My two good tracks, Brazil and Miami, and that's literally my two best tracks in F1 22 right now, and it has been since basically the start of F1 22.
Oh, a couple of fourths I noticed as well. You got a fourth at Spain and a fourth at Albert Park, fifth at Montreal, sixth at Saudi Arabia, seventh at Azerbaijan. So you've been in the top 10 a lot. Yeah. But it all finally clicked for you here at Miami. Put together a very fine drive and ended up taking P3. So
I was just thinking straight away the Daniel Ricciardo quote that he had at Nürburgring in 2020. Is that a podium, boys?
Is that a podium? Is that an effing podium, boys? Yeah, no, that's mega effort. But Pato, do you have anything to ask? Pato?
I think when I joined, it said like he had like a connection.
Oh, okay. Well, Pato, know here. If he comes back, then see if he can ask anything. But to fill in, next week. Well, I already got your thoughts about next week, but it's fair enough to ask again. Next week is Imola for the final round of the championship sprint round as well, which you tend to do pretty well at. How do you think you'll fare in the Pacific Tier 1 season finale?
Like I said on Sunday night, like it's a fun racetrack. Like we're going into, I'm fairly sure, another constructors battle into the final round. So, if 40 races next week, we'll be giving our all, and I love the sprint rounds also. So, yeah, it should be good fun. Hopefully, it's a nice way to end off the season, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, mate, congratulations on your P3 finish here at Miami. Well done.
Thanks, Lane and Pato, and congrats to Big Al on the championship and Potsy on the win tonight.
Just a shout out again. Mega effort tonight. Potsy put together a very fine drive right at the end. I mean, you were top 3 basically all the way through, so you were poised at the front. But yeah, that second stint on the medium compound tyre was pretty unreal. So it was absolutely mega. Yeah, Al and Ferrari Pro had no questions at all. Like, rather, they had no answers to your pace at all. So, congratulations on your race win here at Miami. But of course, the biggest thing, Big Al is our drivers' champion for Season 8. As I said, an up and down season for the Alfa Romeo driver. He's gained 1, 2, 3, 4 race wins this season, and an extra 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 podiums, and this will be podium number 6 added on top of that. So 10 podiums over the course of this season so far, with 2 races to go. Very consistent all the way through. The only bad race really, the DNF at Albert Park, and the DC at Catalonia, which ultimately robbed you of a race win. No, we're coming up to the end of the season, folks, and the championship isn't over in the constructors. Ferrari, Alfa Romeo and Red Bull Racing. It will be an interesting contest, especially between Ferrari and Alfa Romeo. Can Team Big Mac get the double? Can they get the Drivers and Constructors Championships? Or will Ferrari come back at them at their home track in Imola? Well, I guess only time will tell. But I think, folks, with everything said and done, it's now time for us to end the stream. I've been Lane Everingham. My co-commentator, as always, is GeForce Paddo. Thank you, everyone, so much for watching, and we will see you next week for round 15, the final round of the championship at Autodromo Enzo e Dino Ferrari, better known as Imola, for the Emilia-Romagna Grand Prix. Until then, it's goodbye.